everyone, Tracy Filter here with Tracy's Ink Spot. Thank you for joining me for another fun fold video. Today we're going to do another book fold style card, but this one is a portrait style. I've done another book fold before where it was this direction and opened this way, so we're going to do a portrait style this time. So you're going to start out with a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score that at 4 1/4 and at 5 1/4. So I bring in my paper trimmer. And we're going to move that over to 4 1/4 and then 5 1/4. Okay, then you can set your trimmer aside because you're done with that part. As I go through this and tell you the items that I'm using, page references on here reference the annual catalog. That's May 22 to April 23, just for your reference there. Okay, so we're going to take that card base, and then I have a piece of basic white cardstock that is 3 by 5 1/4. I also have another piece that I cut with one of the dies from the Scalloped Contours dies. And then I have 2 pieces of designer series paper, and those are 3 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 and 3 inches. Now sometimes that little 3/4 size is hard to cut, so I actually cut a piece that was 3 3/4, and then I slid it over to the 3-inch mark and let the 3/4 piece fall off by itself. This particular designer series paper is the Perfectly Penciled, and it comes black and white, but I took a blending brush and I filled in some of that color. So that's why you see that that is looking more orchid than it is white. And I'll show you how to use the blending brushes in just a second because I'm going to add them to my piece here as well. So set those pieces aside for a second and let me do the stamping of my element that I want to put on here. I'm going to be using Amazing Silhouettes, which can be found on page 72. And with this, as you can tell by maybe looking at this, you're going to end up with literally the silhouette of the item. So the part you see white here is going to stay white, or whatever color you stamped on, whatever color cardstock you're stamping on. And the color is coming from the shadow behind it. Okay, so I do have a basic white piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp in Orchid Oasis. It's one of our new in colors. And as you might guess, Orchids gets kind of a purpley tone. And pardon me if my head gets in the way. I want to make sure I get this up on the right spot. A little bit of pressure. There we go. So like I said, you get the image around, and then the part that was the base of the same color as your cardstock base will stay that color. All right, now I do want to take some of the starkness out of this white piece because it's just a little bit too white compared with the black and the Oasis that I'm going to be having over here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my blending brushes and my Orchid Oasis stamp pad, and you just want to tap your brush onto here, and I like to start off the piece of cardstock and just go onto it, and I'm going to go very, very lightly. I don't want to have a real heavy hand on this because like I said, I just want to take away some of the starkness of that. So I like to do little round strokes sometimes. Come back up this way a little bit and see how much color I have left. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so I just highlighted kind of around what I had stamped and got rid of some of the starkness of the white. Okay, it's going to highlight my image a little bit more, and it's going to blend into my background a little nicer as well. All right, so let's set that aside and let's go ahead and start the assembly of our card base. So this 4 1/4 fold, that's your natural fold for folding a card in half when you normally have this particular size. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one first. Got a little extra crease with my bone folder. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to bend this one backwards, and it's going to open that direction. Now, if you wanted to do an option of adding some ribbon or anything to this side here, you're going to want to do that before you tape it down because you can wrap it around underneath and inside. I'm not using ribbon today, so I'm going to go ahead and just adhere that down. So I'm going to run a couple strips of my stamping seal there and just put that in place. Okay, so now the basic element of my book fold is ready to go. That piece that we had, that was the 3 by 5 1/4 basic white, that's going to slip on the inside here for me to write on later when I am ready to mail out this card to whomever is going to be the lucky recipient. Now the 2 pieces that you have left, you may guess, will fit into those pieces that we had before. So this will fit into this 1-inch slot on here, and again, it's a 3/4 width, so you have a nice border all the way around. And on this one, that will fit into this section, again with a nice border all the way around. There we go. Okay, now let me finish this part up here. I'm gonna take my Orchid Oasis metallic woven ribbon, and I'm just gonna make a little bow to put on there. And I love this. This ribbon is so sparkly and it's really nice and thin. I like thin ribbon on my cards because I don't want to do a lot of bulking up on those guys when they're, especially when you're gonna mail them. All right, there is my bow. I am gonna go ahead and pop a glue dot onto that. I like to take my elements right to the glue dot itself, make sure they're adhered really nicely, and then pull off very gently. The glue dot's attached right there, and I'm gonna put it just at the bottom of the image. All right, then I like a little bit of dimension on my project, so I'm gonna add a couple dimensionals to the back of this before I put this down. And I like to refresh everyone's memory every once in a while that we do carry dimensionals in black instead of white. So when you're working with something that's gonna go on a piece of dark cardstock, I do like to use those black ones on occasion because you won't see them when you're looking down or around or something like that. All right, and that completes the book fold. So that's super easy, super quick. I will have all the dimensions and the product listings again up on the description of this video for you to check out. And remember, you can take this and step it up however you like. So like I said, like you can add ribbon to this part right here, a couple more layers on here, whatever you decide you like with the products that you're working with. All right, thanks for joining me for this fun fold video today. Take care, everyone. Bye now.